Is that for real?
Live from Studio B at KPRC Channel 2. Houston Life starts now.
Oh, it sure does. It is Friday, folks, August 28th. We are so glad to have you with us, all breathing a sigh of relief that the weekend is finally upon us.
It's here. It is here. Break open the bottle. I know. Thank you for bringing that in.
No problem. In fact, it's kind of nice being at 3 o'clock because now we can do two things that I haven't done since the 80s.
What?
Have lunch and run errands. I feel like a normal person. I was outside just 10 minutes ago, 100 degrees. It's a hot, beautiful day. Blue skies, clouds,
Yes,
it's gorgeous.
but it's a scorcher.
I know.
I know. It's perfect to stay inside and have some cold wine.
Well, and on this National Red Wine Day, I'm sorry we are breaking the rules, but 100 degrees, I'm sorry, I'm not having a glass of red wine at 3 p.m.
It's just too hot. But to be fair, rosé is made from the red grape. How long have you been in TV?
You go in for the close-up, and I pull it right out of the shot.
You moved the prop.
Oh, I got yelled at. Here, let me put it back in.
Put it back. The directors are just cursing.
Up there. I'm sorry.
Yes, now the slow zoom. Look at all this work that they put in.
It's almost like it's product placement, but it's not. I mean, Mr. Pink is a brand that I found. This is less than $10 at Costco. It's like $8. We love it.
Love it.
$8.
I love it. Will you pour it? Stop talking.
And we are not spokespeople for the brand. I just really love this. Next time you're out, look for it, Mr. Pink. It's cheap. It's good.
And,
like me, like my personality.
At Costco, right?
It's cheap and fun. At the
Just like you.
cost.
At the Co of Cost.
They have it at Specs and at other places too.
That's great. You know, I will tell you, every day I get so nervous and freaked out when the music rolls on the show. The open is what we call the open.
Oh, why is that? Because your laugh off the top is quite startling?
It makes me like think to myself, is my phone on? What? It catches me off guard all the time.
You know when someone sneezes really loudly and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, are you okay?
Yes,
it's just someone sneezing.
Right.
Well, we experience that every day at 3 o'clock. Right at the top of the hour.
And then I sort of think like, was that, you know how sometimes you say something and you're like, was that out loud? Then I think, was that me? Because I'm hearing me, but then I'm not saying it's, and sometimes I'm doing a Facebook Live at the same time, so then I don't know, did I turn my phone off? There's lots of confusion happening.
Just rest assured, folks, that as you're watching Houston Life, if there is something that really bugs you, it bugs us too. Unfortunately, we just host the show. We don't make all the decisions behind the scenes.
Cheers. We're not clinking glasses because we're social distancing. I know. Oh, but this sounds nice.
The silent clink of coronavirus.
Clink. We need a sound effect, maybe. You know what?
It's a great idea.
Right?
We should develop
that sound effect would make sense.
Sound effects of things that you like that you can't do anymore. That you
expect to hear.
So when you see someone and you're like, you clink the glass, you can't clink, but you play it on your phone. Or like if you hug someone, you don't actually hug them. You
I saw Dana Laconi today from the Institute of Anti-Aging, and we just did this to each other.
Dana Laconi is the bomb, and if you need Botox, you have to go there. They're the best spot in town.
Oh my word! Listen, they are so fantastic.
Actually,
and it's
I
so
think
great.
if you tell them like you know us, like we're friends, I think they'll probably give you a deal.
Just say we're friends because we are friends.
Don't they do it for like cheap per unit?
And let me tell you something: best hands in town. Like they are so great.
So what'd you have done today?
Just a little Botox.
That's all?
Yeah.
Where'd they do it?
My forehead.
Can we get an extreme close-up on Courtney's forehead, please?
Just got a little.
It does look so smooth.
No, it's not. It does. You know, it takes a couple days to take effect. I think there's probably.
It's like the hood of a car after being freshly waxed, like a Trans Am from the 80s.
Oh, I remember I knew somebody that drove a Trans Am. Anyway.
Who drove the Trans Am?
Just someone I knew.
Come on, you cannot leave us hanging like that.
I used to work with them.
What was his name?
Why do you think it was a him?
I'm just asking a question.
Could have been a lady.
It could have been. So who was it?
I'm not a name dropper.
Yes, you are.
It's such a good car, though, don't you think?
Remember that viewer who told us we were like two drunks fighting?
Oh, yes.
I feel like this exchange is a little combative. You should tone it down. Just tone it down, please.
Oh my gosh, you're combative.
Guys, we do have a great show. I think we're a little bit giddy because today I've been practicing my low voice.
And let me tell you something. I got a snippet of this story that's coming up. Like, I couldn't stop watching it. Seriously. Country singer Josh Turner, y'all know him. You love him. The voice, the face. He's gonna be on our show today, chatting with Lauren Kelly. This is about his new album called Country State of Mind. He may even sing a little with Lauren Kelly.
What?
Yes, so this new album, 12 tracks, and Chris Christopherson. Look,
Randy Travis? Oh
yes.
my gosh, so he collaborated with all of these country stars.
Derek.
A collab.
Yeah.
As they say.
As they say. And such a great, great guy and such a great interview. Lauren killed it with this too. And you know what? I could just listen to him all day long.
I could look at those biceps all day long.
He could just read the yellow pages and I would listen.
Did you ever watch Houston Life 4 years ago? That's pretty much what we did.
Oh, boy.
Speaking of my friend Lewis in LA, he would watch Houston Life and be like, today's show was terrible. I would rather sit and read the yellow pages.
Why are you doing that voice?
Because that's how he sounds.
He doesn't sound like that.
We got to do a call-in with Lewis one day.
Love best friend Lewis.
Maybe Josh could give us a little vocal lesson.
What else do we have coming up?
Show. So, speaking of wine, I know we talked about the fact it's Red Wine Day and we're having rosé. We're only 2 sips in, people, so please don't send us angry messages accusing us of being drunk. We're not drunk, we're just a lot of fun. Today, we're gonna make, using our wine, some fruit wine slushies. If you like fruit wine as much as I do. Herb, perfectly good. There is a certain show, if many of you during Corona have been binging, we're not going to say the name because it sounds like a bad name, but it's a totally G-rated name of a creek somewhere.
Yes.
Blank's Creek.
Yes.
But if you like fruit wine as much as I do, you know the character of Moira Rose.
My word.
Moira's proud of us. But
love her.
If only Moira had some fruit slush wine.
I know. Listen, but our friend Tangi has fruit slush wine. Do you want to hear something so crazy?
What?
Oh my word. I cannot believe I didn't tell you this. So I get a poke in the middle of the night. Roll over. Roll over. You're snoring. You're snoring. Orlando's poking me. And I said, I didn't even open my eyes. I just went... I was dreaming about slushies.
Like from 7-Eleven or?
No, like the wine slushie. I was drinking it, like almost to the fact where I could taste the coolness on my tongue. It was so real. It was the weirdest thing. It just popped into my head just now.
You just remembered that happened.
I just remembered.
Isn't it funny how that happens? You remember your dreams in the middle of the day. But if you're dreaming about work, that's not a good sign.
Oh, never.
I dream about work here and there, too.
Yeah. Those are called news mirrors.
News mirrors. Houston Life mirrors. I get a lot of those.
Yeah.
So was it, I mean, so why he
I guess because I was I was drinking the slushie. And I woke him up. Oh my God. I hate these poor people that are listening to this story.
Orlando.
I know.
Is he a light sleeper or was it just a very robust slurp sound?
I think it's a combo of both. So, and then I said to him, I was dreaming about slushies. And he said, what flavor? I said, I don't know.
Wine flavor.
I know. And then I said it had to be the wine because I think Tangi was in it. I think we were tasting it. I had a straw. It was a whole thing. And so I was actually drinking it.
Wow. Or trying to drink it. And you're drinking it like, this straw is broken.
This is terrible.
I keep drinking, but nothing's happening.
Oh, my. I legit just remembered that, reading the words.
Wow.
I know. It was just like real time.
Well, I'm glad today your dreams will come true on Houston Live. You know, I've been drooling a lot more in my sleep lately. Is that an overshare?
Because of the adult braces? Or what do you think it is?
So I think...
You're not drinking enough water.
Is that?
I don't know.
Do you
Why
drool
are you
if
drooling?
you're dehydrated?
I don't know.
I think it's the Invisalign.
You're not allowing your mouth to close?
I think that's what it is. So
are you waking up with like a pool?
Well, sometimes I'll turn over and the pillow will be...
Slightly wet.
Slightly moist.
Ew, don't use that word.
So my
like
sister,
that word.
right now my sister has adult braces, right? I mean, are adult braces any different than kid braces?
No, they're just
braces.
You're just an adult.
My sister, who is an adult, has braces. She's so much older than I am. At least one of us acts like an adult. But anyway, she has these braces for adults. These adult braces.
In her adult mouth.
But I also have Invisalign. I just am not wearing them on the show.
Why don't you just call them adult braces?
Because mine aren't really adult braces, because they're not the metal braces. Or the
But they're
kind that are
still
more
doing the same
visible.
thing.
They're still doing the same thing, but at times I wish I had just the regular metal braces.
I wish you had
because
a headgear.
I used to have headgear.
I know.
When I was in middle school, I
Yeah.
had it, and I would wake up in the in the morning. I would wake up, and I would have no idea where the headgear was
Threw it
because I would have
across the
ripped it off. There was the neck strap,
Yes.
and then the headgear that
Yes.
slid into these things, brackets in my molars, and I would toss it in the middle of the night angrily in my sleep.
Slurping.
Courtney, and then it would be like wedged behind the bookcase or something.
Yes.
Yeah, headgear was not good for me. Liz, my sister, who now has adult braces, also had headgear. I guess it didn't work, and she would wear it to school. On public
Traumatic.
school, kids are mean, right? Like mean.
Did you say public school kids?
Well, kids
Yeah.
can be mean. Some
Yes.
kids can be mean to each other. I mean, bullying is a thing now, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Be a buddy, not a bully.
Be a buddy, not a bully. And now, like with homeschooling and all learning from home and all of that that's going on during COVID, like cyberbullying is a thing. We're going to talk about that later on in today's show too. Wow, I really just brought the conversation down, didn't I? Back to your drooling story.
No, back to what was the point of the adult braces? What happened? Did she drool? She's drooling. What?
I'm just saying, with things in your mouth at night, you may spring a leak.
Yeah. It's okay though.
Okay, but what
I
else
don't know.
do we
Maybe
have
put a
coming up
little
on
towel.
today's show?
Maybe you should put a little towel there.
Well, that's, I mean, your pillowcase. You wash your pillowcase, right?
Well, yes, of course.
Yeah, so no need for a towel.
Well, you just maybe don't want it to soak through it all.
Listen.
I don't know. I feel sorry for anybody listening to this. I don't know what's going on.
That is so rude. I love when you insult us.
Can we go back to Herb Schling?
I feel sorry for the viewers every day. I just don't say it.
Herb.
If you like fruit wine as much as I do, join our wine club. What is our wine club, you ask? I have no idea, but sign up for it. You can visit our website, HoustonLife.tv, put in your email address, and at some point, we might have more information for you. Giveaways and all of that. I think we did just give away a round
we did.
of like 35 insulated wine coolers.
Not
so
coolers, like a glass, right? The
Well, insulated.
glass.
It's not glass, it's metal.
Well, it was metal. Actually, I think it was plastic, but that's okay. I love mine. They're great for the pool.
It's a stemless wine glass that's not glass, and it has a lid that's also not glass, but you can drink wine out of it.
Yes.
Anyway, that's what we gave away. And if you got one, great. And if you didn't, don't worry. There will be more giveaways, coupons, and I don't know, maybe a chance to do a little virtual wine tasting with us.
We do have a wine club segment next week. Super fun. Oh, I know. I was thinking, because I know what the next two subjects are. This one, I believe, is local. It's all about local wine. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, I see, for wine club.
Yes, the wine club segment.
Okay.
Yes, that's coming up next week. So, and then we also are going to talk about boxed wines,
We need
because
to
we
talk
already
about
talk
boxed
about
wine.
canned wines. But then we're going to dive into the whole boxed wine thing, because it's a thing now.
Well, it's
you know, my
convenient.
old neighbor in Utah, Barney, and his wife, fabulous people.
Oh, how is Barney?
Took me. Well, no, I don't think he's with us anymore.
Oh,
but
okay.
when I lived in that house, amazing guy, I was by myself, and so he would invite me over. We'd have coffee, we'd have cake, the whole nine. We'd have wine, and they just poured it out of the spigot.
Out of the box?
Yes, out of the box. Yeah, I think he was a World War II vet, I think.
Oh, how fantastic.
Yeah, Barney was fantastic.
That's so
great,
nice.
great guy. But whenever I think of boxed wine, I think of him and his wife. Beautiful people,
That's
really.
so sweet.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, fast forward 20 years later, because
It's a
it's
cool
been
thing.
about that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, finally the stigma of drinking wine out of a box is no big deal, or out of a
Right.
can. And we've had so many sommeliers on the show who say, any wine snob just kind of don't associate with them.
Yeah,
if
just
someone
drink
is
what you wanna
judging you
drink.
for drinking out of a box, then don't hang out with them, because drinking wine out of a box is totally cool.
It's totally cool. I love it because, as you know, Orlando likes to have a good bourbon or something like that. That's not usually what I like, so I like to just open a can of wine and pour it, and I have my glass, and I'm good.
Oh, that's
You need to open up a
perfect.
full bottle. Sometimes you need the full bottle, sometimes you don't.
You open a box and you keep it in the fridge. That's what we do.
That's so good.
A $14 box of red from Costco. It's the equivalent of 4 bottles. Great deal in town. I need to be a spokesperson for that store,
I
too.
think
We talk about
so.
them all the time.
I think so. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers to you, and cheers to slushies.
Oh, of course. Okay, still ahead. We've got a refreshing way to cool off this weekend. Of course, we're talking about those wine
Genius.
slushies. I know. It's a foolproof recipe. You're gonna try it. Coming up next.
All right.
Cheers to Houston Life from Fully Mediterranean. We love sharing our recipes with your audience. Thank you for always keeping us informed and making us smile.
Hey, Derek. Hey, Courtney.
Can't wait to celebrate National Red Wine Day with you guys and the rest of the herd.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Red Wine Day.
And cheers from your friends at the Nice Winery.
Cheers.
Oh, my
my word.
It does feel like a virtual hug from all those guys. Thank you so much.
I know. Great seeing Pam and Robbie and
Ryan from Nice Winery.
Yes.
And that Longhorn that Robbie and
I
Tracy
think that's
have.
Cookie. I think that's Cookie the Longhorn, maybe. He said that before. I think so.
Cookie's a cutie.
I think so, too. Speaking of another cutie, and speaking of wine, our next guest is putting summer twist on wine drinking.
She is a cutie.
She
and
is a
just
cutie.
had a birthday. Friend of the show and host of Good Taste TV, Tangi Patton, joins us now with some adult slushies that are easy to make. Tangi, it is so great to see you. Happy belated birthday.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
And I know that typically you're so busy. Like, people see Good Taste with TV, or Good Taste TV, Good Taste with Tangi on weekends. But that actually takes a lot of time for you guys to shoot and film. And I know in the middle of summer, that's what you've been doing.
That's what we've been doing in the middle of summer, in the middle of COVID. It's been crazy. We've been traveling all over the state, meeting these amazing small business owners, restaurant owners that are working harder, I dare say, than they ever have before. And the beautiful, rewarding thing is so many of the customers, the diners, are going to extreme measures to help keep them in business. So this is going to be our best season yet. We're very excited about it. We've got some great stories to share.
So great.
I know, and you do such a great job, Tangi. I know I visited a few of your favorite in Round Top, and all of those restaurateurs they're so excited when people walk in their doors and really want to support what's going on. Of course, small business, everybody kind of locking arms together, and you're great at shining that spotlight on those people. But okay, you had us with wine slushies. Oh my word, Tangi, you got to break it down for us, because this is so easy to do and so good.
It's crazy easy to do, and I got to tell you, Courtney, you have really put the pressure on, knowing that my segment and me maybe and the slushies popped up in your dream. I mean, you've taken the pressure to a whole new level. So.
I'm telling you, I've been wanting to taste them since this early morning.
Yeah, this is one of those segments where you do all the research and it's a lot of fun. And the real truth of this is, these are the simplest things you'll ever make. The sky is truly the limit on your imagination of what you want to make them with, what fruit flavors. There's so many beautiful fruits in season right now that you can really come up with some fun creations. And I've added a few variations that take them even to another level that I really enjoyed the flavors, and I think you will too. I'm going to start out with one of everyone's favorite and probably the most popular is the rosé.
Yes.
And I'm using this. You can use any rosé. Some people prefer a rosé maybe made with Pinot Noir or some of the bigger grapes from Italy, but any Pinot Noir works. I found this, I don't know if you're familiar with Stella Rosa wines. They're a little on the fruity side, so they're perfect for this kind of thing. This is a ruby grapefruit wine. So this already brings a lot of the fun citrus components to it. And then I'm going to add strawberries and some minor things to it. Tip number one, freeze the wine the night before you need it. Because of the alcohol content in wine, it's not going to give you a solid product to work with. It's always going to be a little bit slushy, even after it's been in the freezer overnight. So we're going to start with, and this is going to get a little messy, the somewhat frozen. My hands are clean, but the good news is you guys don't have to drink this. Frozen wine. And again, it's going to be slushy. It's going to be messy. You would normally use a spoon, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to toss it out there. And for this one, I'm going to add some strawberries. They add some beautiful color, and they add some fruit, a little bit of lemon. Sometimes acidity helps almost everything you cook. And if you want more of a sweet flavor, add a little sugar. If not, let the wine do its work. I think on this one with the...
Just blend it up. And your strawberries, are they frozen or fresh?
You know, I did not freeze these. You can.
Okay.
And if you freeze them, it's probably a good idea because you will come up with a more frozen product.
Okay.
This is one I made earlier today and kept in the freezer. But as you can see, they just look so inviting.
It's beautiful.
So it's such a pretty color.
They taste fantastic.
It's also kind of a trendy thing right now, Tangi.
It
like
is.
we went to Austin a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Oh, do you want the frosé at the bar by the pool?" They were $13 a piece for a tiny cup. So when you make it at home, you also save a bundle.
Oh, you do? Well, yes, because none of the wines I use, and I would never use an expensive wine to do this with, are, you know, $15 or less, $10. I think that Stella Rose is like $12 at HEB. It's nothing.
Right.
And it's really good. Now, this is fantastic as well. It is a frozen sangria. And the beauty of this one is you start with the sangria product in a bottle.
Okay.
So that you've got all the different fruit in there. This is the one, and HEB sells it in this size, and then they sell it in a double bottle size as well, Don Simone. It's fantastic. It's perfect for this. And all I've done with this one is I did freeze these blackberries.
Which
It
are
adds
really
a little
great
bit
for
of fun
vitamin C.
texture, and blackberries are just luscious anyway. So same process with that. We take it out. Now this one, I wanted to add something a little different, and I'm going to add a little bit of whipped topping to it. After you pour it in the glass, if you're entertaining, you want this to be kind of a cool presentation, pour your glasses, stick them in the freezer for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and let them get solidified once again, and then top with a little whipped topping.
Oh,
and I know it sounds crazy, but
no,
it
that's going to be good.
tastes amazing.
That's
does
really
look
good.
I mean, whipped cream makes everything better.
so
Right?
I know, it
And then
certainly
the
does.
last one,
Okay,
I
Tangi,
used-
we have about a minute left, and I know
Okay.
we're also in peach season or getting, right? We are in peach season.
past it,
A little
right?
past, yeah.
No, they're still out there.
So this is the next one. This is a perfect
Yes.
peach slushy.
It's a perfect peach slushy. The beautiful thing about this is you can use peaches, you can use the mangoes, however you say it. The mangoes or the mangoes, we are from Texas, right now are fantastic. And so you can do the same process, pick a fun, zesty wine. Layer Cake makes some great white wines. This is their Sauvignon Blanc. Love it. And you can add ice cream to it or do it all by itself. So I did it with a little ice cream to compare to the fresh fruit. And honestly, I loved the one with ice cream. You don't see that very often,
Right.
and it really, really was good. And all the wines always at HEB is where I got them, and they're very inexpensive.
Tangi Patton, thank you so much for the ideas. Congrats on the new season of Good Taste, and we hope to see you here in Studio B very soon.
Thanks, you guys. And I owe Courtney a belated birthday wish as well, too.
Thank you so much, friend. Great to see you. And I like that peach one. It reminds me of a dreamsicle almost with that ice cream in it. By the way, I know we went through all these recipes, but Tangi's slushy recipes are on our website. If you want to try it this weekend, be sure to share your pics with us as well.
Oh, yeah, just use the hashtag HoustonLifeTV. Very nice. And we will be right back with a look at what's coming up on Channel 2 News at 4. Don't go away. Well, welcome back to Houston Life. I think we should take a little break for a moment.
We do, yes. Let's regroup and see what's ahead with the headlines with Keith and Christine for the news at 4.
Hey there, happy Friday. It's going to be a hot weekend in more ways than one, that's for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. Great to see you guys on this Friday. You know, going into the weekend, we just need a moment of zen. Like,
Yes.
we need to talk about stress and relieving it, right? From the pandemic to the economy to the hurricane. Stress seems to be kind of at a high point right now. So our health reporter, Haley Hernandez, is going to be breaking down the best ways to sort of work this all out and cope with the stress.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Yeah.
All right, another story we're covering. Houston rapper Trey the Truth doing what he does so often, helping people in need. He and his relief gang are heading to Louisiana right now. Took off around 1 o'clock. They're taking much needed supplies to folks impacted by Hurricane Laura. Our own Channel 2, Rochelle Turner, she is with that convoy. She's going to have a live report from Lake Charles. We're going to check it now with Frank with a look at what's going on weather-wise.
I have so much going on. Look at this plate. It's full. I have a flood advisory for parts of Liberty County until 5:30, a coastal flood advisory until midnight, and then heat advisories until 10 o'clock tonight, and again tomorrow. This has just been issued until from 9 to 9 tomorrow. So it's going to be a hot weekend. There's a look at the rain in Liberty County. That's the reason that flood advisory was issued. A couple of inches there around DayZeta, and more is on the way. So be careful there in Liberty. In the meantime, it's actually some relief to get some rain. It's 100 in Conroe, it's 98 in Houston, and it feels like 112. How about them apples? That's like an apple pie, and it's tough out there. The tropics are active, 30–40% chances of some development with these systems. We'll talk more about that. You can see they're headed generally off toward the United States. So we'll talk about that. And where was Laura's storm surge? I blogged about that. I've had great response on this blog. It's at clicktehouston.com/weather. And in fact, we're going to talk about that at 4:30 coming up, and exactly what I found out. I'm going to share with you.
Okay.
We would love to hear it. Frank, we
Indeed.
look forward to that. Thank you. And also, back to you guys at Houston Life. Happy National Red Wine Day. Cheers to you guys.
You know what?
National Red Wine Day.
It's a great day to celebrate this national holiday, for sure, guys. All right.
We'll be celebrating for the
All
rest of
day.
the year. Thanks, Keith and Christine and Frank. Thanks so much. All right, after the break, we're going to shift gears and focus on the school year ahead. Along with remote learning can come cyberbullying. How to protect your kids, coming up next. Welcome back. Virtual learning is a whole new world for many students, and along with it can come risks like cyberbullying, and parents need to be aware.
Rania Mancarius, Executive Director with Crime Stoppers of Houston, joins us now to explain how and why cyberbullying is happening during remote school settings. Rania, it's always great to see you. Happy Friday. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I think this is an important topic. I'm happy to be here.
You know, this is a very important topic because as our kids are now in the virtual setting, regardless of their age, as we say with the virtual world anyway, with bullying, on cyberbullying, there is no escaping it.
There's no escaping it. And listen, across the country, we have roughly 56.6 million elementary and secondary school kids doing remote learning in some way or another. In Houston alone, around 210,000 kids. So there's a lot of kids that have literally opened the doors to their homes to everybody in their class. And it's created a completely new dynamic, a whole new set of issues for these kids that are just trying to navigate a whole other spectrum for cyberbullying. So it's an important conversation for us to have and really challenge parents and kids to think about, and teachers and school administrators as well.
You know, it's really interesting that you say that because I never even considered this before. With one click, suddenly all of your peers have a window into your world, you know, what your home looks like, your living environment. What kinds of conversations, Rania, should we be having with our young people about, you know, the images that they're putting out there and also the things that, you know, make us different from other people?
It's so important. It really resonated with me to hear a student actually say this. She said, you know, for so long I've created an image that was my school image. And now all of a sudden I have to grapple with the fact that my home life doesn't necessarily mirror that image or match that image in any way. And now everybody in my class, everybody in my specials, my teachers, everybody that I go to school with can see my room, my home, maybe that I have to share a room, etc. So we're challenging parents to sit down and have conversations with kids about something they haven't really thought about, but what is their child's image? What are they trying to portray to their friends? What does it mean to them? Why? And what is a healthier approach to this? And then on the other hand, and I got some pushback for this, but listen, there are so many kids that are doing their Zoom classes like in their beds, like tucked under the covers.
Oh.
And it is distracting. It is distracting for your peers. It's distracting for teachers. Think about the fact that anything can be screenshot.
Yeah.
Somebody can be taking a picture of the Zoom session. It is not about material wealth or setting up a gorgeous Pottery Barn desk. It's just about sitting up. Your kid shouldn't be laying down on the couch, laying down in a bed, laying down on the floor, wherever they are doing their remote learning. have them sit up and remember that at any moment somebody could be taking a photo of them or filming them, and in whatever position they're in. It's just something we need kids to think about.
For sure, it's something that we need to be aware of. And by the way, just sitting up too allows you to be present, sort of in the moment, ready to learn, not in sort of that relaxed state. But there are predators out there, and we have to remember that. I think this is really interesting too, and there are so many, besides this sort of school image versus real school reality, there's also the factor of kids at home with any kind of issues. So the background noise, maybe the yelling or anything else happening within the home, it's hard to escape that.
It really is. And so we're urging parents, and look, we all understand we're all dealing with this pandemic. It's been many, many, many months of us being at home. People have lost their jobs. Tensions are high. We know that family violence is on the rise across this country. But we don't want kids to risk truancy. We don't want kids to feel like they can't log in. They're so unsure of what's going to erupt behind them that they'd rather just not attend remote learning. So we're pleading with adults to please be mindful of the fact that we want our kids to attend class. We want them to feel safe to do so. And then maybe urging kids to seek help. Find a trusted adult you can talk to about the dynamics in your home and help the family find a path to solution, health, and wellness. We really want to think about every possible factor that goes into a child's well-being as they are, forced really to do this remote learning.
And Rania, we have just about 90 seconds left, a couple more points to get to. I know that the school year for many folks just started, right? But already you have evidence that while these teachers are teaching on Zoom, there are kids using other platforms, open chat rooms, talking about other students who are on that screen, doing the bullying on the side. What do you do if you are a child in that situation, if you are a parent and you are aware this is going on? Because clearly, disciplining students can't happen now in the classroom. It has to happen in a different way. So what do we do?
Well, there is a moral code of conduct for every school, and it applies whether you're sitting in school or doing remote learning, and you have to behave as a good digital citizen or as a good citizen in your school. But listen, those Zoom sessions, those chat boxes, I've seen some that are roaring with cyberbullying. I mean, it's chat after chat, entry after entry, and teachers can only do so much. I applaud every teacher across Harris County and across this country. But we're asking parents to ask the schools, who's monitoring the Zoom chats? Some schools are hiring college students to just monitor the Zoom chats. Some schools are disabling them so students can't interface with each other. But we're asking parents to be aware of it. Children, kids, if you feel that you're a victim of cyberbullying, and by the way, this is a little different than name calling. We're not just talking about name calling. We're talking about repeated harassment. Report it, take pictures of it, make sure you report it to the schools, make sure you reported it to a parent, a trusted adult. If necessary, you do get law enforcement involved, but keep track. Let teachers know, let adults know, keep track of what's taking place, because it's in all of our interests to get you the safety, the help you need. Again, we don't want truancy. We don't want kids to feel like they can't dial in and that they are safer if they just don't participate in these Zoom sessions.
All of this is great information. You say also to keep a lookout for social changes, any kind of behavior in your children. And by the way, documenting that cyberbullying, you can screenshot that information there on any device that you're using. Rania, it's always great to chat with you. You always have great information.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to see you guys.
Take care. All right, and after the break on Houston Life, it is Finance Friday. Find out how buying real estate could be a money-changing strategy for you and your family. That's next. It is Finance Friday, and today we are diving into the strategy of building wealth through real estate investments.
Certified financial planner and president of Shakiba Capital, Trevor Shakiba, is sharing 5 reasons why everyone should consider investing in real estate. Happy Friday, Trevor. Great to see you.
Yeah, how are y'all doing?
We're great. Thanks so much. So I think a lot of people hear this maybe and if they're not familiar with being in the real estate market, maybe they might shy away. But you say this is a really great investment to jump into.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the starting point is that if you look at some of the most successful and wealthy people, almost always they are invested in real estate. I think it's 90% of U.S. millionaires are invested in some real estate. They don't have everything in real estate. And I hear that often a lot too, that it's either got to be all real estate or all the stock market. And like most good things, you want to be diversified. And so that's my first point, is make sure you're diversified. We found out how diversified you really were the beginning of this year. So if your portfolio went down in lockstep with the market, 35% in 35 days in February and March, you may not be appropriately diversified. And so everyone needs assets that don't just go up and down with the market, and real estate could be one of those.
Yeah, for sure. And when you look at real estate over the decades, people certainly have made a lot of money. You know, look at the price of real estate in the 80s. My mom was a realtor back then, and my goodness, how times have changed. Let's talk about the tax advantages, Trevor, because this is a huge thing, right? I mean, these are massive tax advantages, potentially.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites, actually. And look, real estate has more advantages from a tax perspective than any other investment by far. Now, it differs by the type of real estate, but really what I'm talking about here is depreciation. And so not going to go into the details of that, but a lot of times you can offset your income or gains from that real estate through having passive losses. I think the takeaway is that real estate can be a great vehicle to give you some tax benefits.
Well, let's talk about your two favorite words. So besides tax benefit, you say cash flow is something you need to really think about.
Yeah, indeed. Those are my two favorite words. And basically here you can get paid to wait. So what Derek was referring to before is that historically real estate goes up over time. So if it's the right type of real estate, you can get income and be patient. And like I said, get paid to wait. Now, this isn't every type of real estate. If you're buying land and you're developing, you're probably not going to get cash flow here. But what I'm talking about is single family rentals, apartments, maybe office. Those are all types of real estate that can give you that cash flow, which again is very valuable.
And Trevor, especially during uncertain economic times, when people hint about a recession or they worry what's coming next, real estate in many ways is sort of recession-proof, right? Because people are always going to need a place to live. And let's say the market goes crazy and prices go up, then that means rental prices go up too.
Yeah, especially in the real estate that you just mentioned, single family apartments. And so it cannot be disrupted in a sense. And with inflation, which by the way, we're seeing data points now that may indicate that inflation may return to some extent. We haven't seen it in a long time. That is an investment that can really act as a hedge. So it's a great diversifier for that reason, and also to protect you in times of volatility.
Another protection really is sort of like the control, the comfortableness of having a real estate in your investment portfolio, because unlike the stock market, like you say, you don't know what's going to happen. But here we kind of have a level playing ground.
Yeah, exactly. This is again one of my favorites, and as you can tell, I really do like real estate. But again, go back to February and March. You did not feel like you had control back then with the market being as volatile as it was. Real estate can give you that control depending on what type, where you can improve, you can increase rents, you can update the property, you can decrease expenses and really force appreciation and do a lot of good things. So that control factor is a big one, and I know a lot of my clients and people like that, as opposed to the stock market, where a lot of times you're just going up and down, and you can't control a pandemic or an election year or things like that.
And Trevor, before we let you go, we're almost out of time. If someone, again, is brand new to this whole idea that maybe one day they could start buying up real estate and investing, what is the first step? I mean, financially, how does someone even make that happen?
Yeah, that's a great tease, Derek, because next week we're going to talk about how you can invest in real estate, whether that's a large amount or how to get started. But there's a variety of ways, from a small amount that you could get in and kind of partner with others, to how do you eventually invest in something big like an office or an apartment. So I'm excited about that. Real estate's a great investment, great opportunity to diversify.
All right, Trevor Shakiba, thank you so much. We'll look forward to next week's chat.
You bet.
And if you are looking for a brand new way to invest, you can connect with Trevor by visiting shakibacapital.com.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Country music star Josh Turner is known for his smooth, deep voice and hit songs Your Man, Why Don't We Just Dance, and Long Black Train.
He just released his latest album, Country State of Mind, and Lauren Kelly caught up with Josh to talk about his new music, working with icons, and missing fans on the road.
Can we talk about how much better of a Zoom setup and lighting that you have been?
Oh, come on.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Country music star, multi-platinum selling artist Josh Turner is here with me today.
How are you?
No, I'm doing great, Josh. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Funny story, I spent 20 years in pop radio and I worked next door to our country sister station, and I wanted to do country music so bad because their artists were so nice and they had some of my favorite songs. And I only got to do 1 hour whole radio career on the country station, and I got to play one of your songs.
Well, there you go. 1 hour's better than none, right?
Absolutely. You've been working hard during this pandemic. You got a brand new album out, Country State of Mind. It is loaded up with tons of legends and icons and some of the newest names in the game. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the names on there, but let's just get right into it. You got the Mount Rushmore of country music artists on there.
Yeah, you know, I've always referred to my Mount Rushmore of country music as being Randy Travis, John Anderson, Johnny Cash, Vern Gosdin, and Hank Williams. And so I really felt like, you know, in making this record, I needed to start with that as a template. So I had to include songs from those guys first. And so from that point, it just kind of spilled over into other artists that I hadn't had the chance to cover before, like Keith Whitley and Alan Jackson and George Strait and even Chris Christopherson. So it turned out to be such a fun record to be a part of. It didn't take us long to record this, and you know, the prep time for it was so short because I've basically been familiar with these songs my whole life. And I think the hardest part was just, you know, lining up all the collaborations and getting everybody to you know, to sing on these songs. So. But once they did, it was just, you know, it was just icing on the cake. It was incredible.
2 questions about those big names. Do you just kind of pick up the phone and call them on their cell phone? Like, hey, George, hey, Alan, do you come do a duet with me or come be on my record?
Yeah, pretty much. I have a relationship with, you know, all of the artists that ended up on this record. So, you know, not only are they, you know, heroes and peers, but they're friends of mine. You know, so it's been so much fun to be able to collaborate with them in this kind of way on this kind of record too, and really kind of showcase, you know, the history of country music and the future of country music.
Absolutely. Do you get nervous when you bring those icons in the studio with you?
I do. And the hardest part for me, you know, one of the ways that I learned how to sing was always like imitating other artists, you know, because I figured if I could imitate, you know, a wide variety of artists, you know, I could kind of wrap all that up into my own style. And so, you know, for instance, when I get into the studio and I'm singing a John Anderson song and John Anderson's in the room, it's really hard for me not to try to sing like John Anderson. So that was the challenge, but it was fun.
So with the pandemic happening, Josh, everybody's been staying home, staying safe, and a lot of Zoom calls happening. Everything is virtual. What do you miss most about being live on the road and touring?
I've done one show in the last 5 months or so. We've had probably 70 dates move on us this year, which has been somewhat of a gut punch. You know, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, we make most of our money touring. And so, you know, to have 70 dates move is just, it's been a hard thing. But like I say, I was able to do one show about a week and a half ago, and it was such a relief and a reminder of like how much I miss that connection with the fans and just being able to go out and play music for the people. And it also reminded me too of like how much better we are together. And so the fans were so excited to actually come see some live entertainment. And like I say, it just made me, I almost wish I hadn't done the show, because now it just makes me want to do it even more, and I can't. So
Right.
I'm just sitting around waiting. So
Can we get our lights are down low. Can we do a little, baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low?
baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low.
Put some music on that's soft and slow.
And get a better background for your Zoom calls.
I love it.
I'm
You made
kidding.
my
I like
day.
the background.
Oh, thank you. The NASA spaceman
I like
is
it.
behind me.
There you go.
Josh, you take care, stay safe, and we'll see you when you come back to Houston, okay?
Sounds good. Y'all be careful down there.
Sounds good to me, too.
So fantastic. Lauren, thanks so much. We'll be right back. Such a fun show on this Friday. Don't forget, we have the wine slushies on our website if you want to make them this weekend.